pregnancy supplementation. What's good, what's safe, what should you be taking, what am I taking? This is one of the biggest questions y'all have asked me about ever since the moment I told you that I'm pregnant, and today I'm finally gonna answer it. If you're new around here, I am Mollie Mason. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I am here to help you feel better in your body so you can show up brighter in your life. If you want realistic nutrition advice and wellness from a freedom-based perspective, make sure you hit subscribe for more videos. In an effort to answer all of your questions about pregnancy supplementation, I am going to be sharing with you today everything that I have been taking through my pregnancy. Important disclaimer off the bat, this is not medical advice. Every pregnant woman's needs are different, but this is what I have chosen as a nutritional therapy practitioner to support my body during my pregnancy. And also, I like to say this anytime I talk about supplementation. I believe in a foods first approach. The perfect ideal way of doing things is to get every nutrient we need from the food that we eat. God has a genius design in how he designed nutrients and minerals and things to operate inside our bodies. Food is so wise, and I do believe you cannot out supplement a poor diet. Now with that said, I also believe that it is nearly impossible in today's world, in the quality of our soil and in just the lifestyles that we lead, for us to get everything that we need from our diet. So for that reason, I think supplementation can be an amazing way to bolster what hopefully already is a solid nutritional foundation and just cover your bases, especially when you are pregnant and growing every little cell of another human being. You want to make sure you've got everything that you need. To make this as easy as possible for you, I have created a blog post with all of this in one spot. I'll have all the details on the specific brands that I trust, any discount codes I can offer you to save you money. All of it will be there in that post. It is linked for you in the description box. You can peruse that as we go. Number one should be a surprise to no one at all. Collagen. At this point, you know my obsession with collagen. As a gut health nutritionist and someone who leads people through my Gut Glow program, this is one of my ride or dies for everyday health, for gut health. Especially in pregnancy, I love collagen for a few reasons. Collagen is comprised of essential amino acids that make up the building block of new tissue growth, which is one of the reasons that it's touted for its hair growth, nail growth, beauty growth benefits. Obviously, I talk about it all the time for the importance of supporting the structural integrity of the gut lining as we repair our guts that we do in the Gut Glow program. Can we talk about what it means to create an entire new human being? That's creating a lot of new tissue. You need so much important quality protein, and I just find that collagen is so easy to sneak in anywhere. It's flavorless in any hot liquid. You can throw it in a cup of coffee, throw it in a smoothie. So especially when you're nauseous, when you have food aversions, when any kind of meat sounds so repulsive, collagen is just an amazing way to make sure you're getting enough protein in. I take at least 2 scoops a day in my coffee, which is 1/3 caffeinated. You can watch this vlog for more on that. But I specifically love this one from Perfect Supplements. It is grass-fed, hydrolyzed, really high quality. They do the proper processing, and it's third-party tested for heavy metals. So you're not gonna be getting snuck in any of those heavy metals that a lot of the other collagen brands have in them. Okay, so collagen. Number 2, I gotta go with magnesium. Another one of my favorite supplements to support overall health. I was taking this long before I became pregnant, but it is something I have maintained through my pregnancy that I feel like has really helped me feel amazing. Magnesium is a mineral that we deplete like crazy in our high stress situations when our body is under any kind of stress. Again, growing another human. And it's really hard to get from our diet. Our soil is depleted of it. It's one of the reasons it's one of my go-to recommendations for nearly anyone to take a magnesium supplement. It helps with stress regulation, nourishes and supports the adrenals, and it has a nervous system support, so it helps you sleep. Now, my magnesium of choice is magnesium glycinate. There's a ton of different forms of magnesium, and this is where you have to be really careful because glycinate is not necessarily the cheapest. Some of the cheaper ones that you'll find at like a magnesium bedtime supplement tea, a lot of those are the lesser forms of magnesium. It doesn't mean that it can't be helpful. Some magnesiums will cause loose stools. They have a stool loosening effect, which can be great, especially if you're constipated in pregnancy. I personally like glycinate because it does not affect the stool, but you still get that really great nervous system support. I take this before bed. I've been taking this one from now for like 6 years or something at this point. And with that, another thing, magnesium flakes. I do recommend taking an oral magnesium. I don't think you're gonna get as much as you need need from just a magnesium bath. But let me tell you, there is nothing better than a magnesium bath. There's nothing better. And especially when you're pregnant, when you're sick, when you're tired, when things are starting to hurt, when you're not sleeping well, I'm telling you, the nights that I don't take a warm magnesium bath before bed, I absolutely notice I don't sleep as well. And then the nights that I take the time to decompress with my warm magnesium bath, I'm telling you, I sleep so much better. You can actually absorb a great amount of magnesium topically through your skin, which is why it works so well in a warm bath. I actually typically like to buy this from Perfect Supplements as well. They have been out of stock, so I had to buy this brand from Now, which is also great. I trust them. I've used these for years too. Epsom salts will do, but I just find the actual magnesium flakes, I really find they feel a lot better. Number 3 on my list is Acerola Cherry. Again, a superfood I was taking long before I was pregnant, but something I have continued to use to support myself in this pregnancy. Acerola Cherry is a loaded whole food vitamin C source. It has like 100 times the amount of vitamin C as an orange. I don't remember the exact number, something like that. It is loaded with vitamin C, and vitamin C is super important for progesterone production. As someone with PCOS, that's something that I was really conscious of as I was preparing my fertility journey to get pregnant, and of course something that I need to support during my pregnancy. Now I will say I have actually been doing progesterone supplementation because my levels have been borderline low, just something you deal with the thyroid and PCOS issues. Anytime there is any sort of dysfunction in the body, we want to get to the root of supporting the body and making its own version. So for me, a huge piece of that, of course, is blood sugar regulation, but making sure I have enough vitamin C to support that progesterone production. I also get these from Perfect Supplements. You can get the capsule version, but I like to use just the powder. It comes with this cute little scooper, and you can just do a scoop every morning and whatever you drink. Good to support that progesterone production to make sure that uterine lining is strong and baby has everything it needs. All right, now this next one is a little bit like surprising, maybe, I don't know, or not surprising, just different. I don't know, you've seen me talk about those 3 before. This one, I don't know that I've actually ever talked to you about, even though I've been taking it for a while now, and that is Myo-Inositol. There's a ton of really fascinating research on this, and I will link some articles for you guys in that post. You might have heard of Myo-Inositol. It's also often referred to as B8, even though it's not actually a vitamin, but it's referred to as B8 because it resembles a B vitamin, but it specifically helps with blood sugar regulation by making the cells more sensitive to insulin. There's a ton of research that's shown it has been very helpful for women with insulin sensitivity issues and PCOS in improving their fertility, improving their ovulation, and supporting a healthy pregnancy. I did start taking this pre-pregnancy as I was preparing to try to conceive, but it is also really supportive during your pregnancy, so it's something I've continued to take. Now again, I'll link some of this for you guys to do your own research if you haven't heard of this one, but the data does show you want to make sure you have your Myo-Inositol and Inositol in a 40:1 ratio. I really like this one from Probiotics Research. It's called Balanced B8. I have been tracking my blood sugar, and I really think that it has helped with my blood sugar regulation, which of course is so important for so many things, but especially while you're pregnant, we do not need any of that gestational diabetes, so love this. Number 5, colostrum. If you don't know what that is, yes, it is indeed the milk that I will be producing here pretty soon. Colostrum is the first milk that comes in after you have your baby, and it's super rich in nutrients. You have a very small volume of it, but it's like liquid gold, right? It's loaded with really high quality nutrients that baby needs a big boost of after birth. Probably heard of it at this point because I feel like colostrum has been like the buzzy hit thing lately to take as a superfood, specifically bovine beef colostrum. I like it because, like I said, I'm always gonna look for a foods first approach to any vitamin or mineral or nutrient that I'm looking to fill. How can we get it from nature? Because nature knows what it's doing. So this is just an easy way to get that extra boost of really important nutrients in that's not synthetic. I love this core colostrum from Equip. It's really high quality, you know, grass-fed bovine. It's third-party tested. They do have flavored versions, but I get the unflavored one. I like that it doesn't have any extra stevia or monk fruit or flavors or any of that stuff. And I really like that it is low temperature processed, which is super important to maintain the efficacy of the nutrients that we're trying to get. Talked about that in the last vlog as well. I like to take these together every morning in what I have been calling my pregnancy morning elixir, and I will include the details for that in that blog post as well. Number 6, a probiotic. Another thing we're not surprised of. The integrity, the status of your gut microbiome is so important for a million different things. If you want to learn more about that, do not miss my gut health masterclass. It's a free training that you can dive into where I talk all about how to know if you have an imbalanced gut, how it affects all these other aspects of your body. It's good. But obviously, while we're pregnant, we pass on that gut microbiome to our babies. This baby right now in my womb is developing its gut microbiome that it's gonna have with it for the rest of its life. There are changes you can make to your microbiome, but there are also changes that can never be made. There's stuff in your microbiome that has been there since you were in your mother's womb. Your microbiome is so important when you're pregnant. So definitely do the work of supporting your gut health before you get pregnant if you can. Obviously, continuing to nurture that healthy microbiome while you're pregnant with a quality probiotic that you trust is super vital. So in the beginning of my pregnancy, I continued to take this Biome Super Reds or Greens, which is my daily gut shot. I have an entire YouTube video on that with all the details if you want to check that out. Another one of my ride or die products that I have loved for so many years that hundreds of you have now loved as a part of your routine. I love it. But now, as I'm rounding out towards the end of my pregnancy, I have switched to this Femdophilus probiotic because it is specifically formulated for the vaginal microbiome. And I am praying that I have this baby come out through the birth canal. And so my goal is to populate this baby with as much healthy flora as possible. I like this because it's specifically formulated to try to prevent GBS, which is a whole other thing we don't really even have time at all to even get into. That is one thing I've done halfway through this pregnancy, was switch to this, not because this isn't good. It's okay to switch things up every once in a while and to know that I'm gonna specifically support that vaginal flora. Birth canal, we're coming, baby. Number 7 is Digestive Enzymes, another one of my ride or die products that is a part of the Gut Glow arsenal if you're a part of my Gut Glow program. I love this product for quite a few reasons. Now, let's just talk generally digestive enzymes and support. Let's be real, pregnancy can mess you up in there. We all know it for so many reasons. One, baby is literally smushing my stomach up into my ribs and all my intestines are being pushed and moved. Hormonally, things are shifting and changing the way your body is processing your food. And let's be real, especially in that first trimester, you're probably eating pretty differently than you normally would. I know I did a little bit. We want to support digestion. I love this product from Smidge. It's HCl and enzymes. So it's a really well-rounded digestive support to give you digestive enzymes just to support your body in processing the food that you're eating. It does have a low dose of HCl and pepsin, which is stomach acid that helps our body break down the food that we're eating. Now, I should probably spare you from going down too big of a rabbit hole here, but while we're talking about it, something that we hear about a lot in pregnancy is acid reflux. Part of that is mechanically if things are being pushed up into your esophagus. But a lot of times there's a huge misconception that acid reflux is having too much acid in your stomach. Typically it's the opposite. It's actually a deficiency of adequate amounts of stomach acid. And so oftentimes supplementing with a little bit of acidic support and HCl is going to help alleviate acid reflux issues. There's a lot more to it than that, and you want to support every aspect of the digestive process. All I can say is I've had the tiniest little smidgen of acid reflux like twice through this entire pregnancy. I feel really good digestionally, and I think partly because I've continued to take this. Saving the most controversial for last, number 8, a prenatal. Now this is a tricky topic, so I'm gonna do my best to share with you the research I did and where I landed. One of the biggest things you're gonna hear from the medical community is to make sure you're taking your prenatal before you get pregnant, and as soon as you find out you're pregnant, and take your prenatals, take your prenatals. Now, it is unfortunately true that the vast majority of prenatals out there are absolute garbage. Generally, that's the truth about most supplements and vitamins on the market, right? They're made from synthetic forms, which is not the same in our bodies. Our bodies need the bioavailable form of these nutrients, which is why nature is so much better. If we can get things from food, if we can take a foods first approach, nature has the bioavailable versions of these nutrients as well as the important cofactors to make sure our bodies can absorb them. Now, with that said, I feel like there's also the holistic crunchy side of the spectrum where people are like, prenatals are trash. You don't need a prenatal. Don't take anything while you're pregnant. Get everything from food. And like I said, I just don't necessarily necessarily think that that's always true. Based off of looking at my lab, my nutrient needs were, I did decide to take a prenatal. And I went with Needed, prenatal multi-essentials. They did like just rebrand their packaging. So if you go on their website right now, I know it looks different. I'll link the right thing for you guys. Now, there's quite a few reasons why I like this as a prenatal option. It's really high quality. They're focused on the bioavailable version of the nutrients that are in it. Specifically, let's talk about folate. Folic acid is one of the, long touted nutrients that we know is needed for baby's brain and spinal cord development. It's super important that mom has enough folic acid to supply baby with while growing the baby. And we know about the deficiencies and the outcomes that happen in babies that don't have enough. But the medical community's response to that was to create the synthetic version of folate, which is folic acid, and that's what we put in prenatals, and it's not the same. If you are like me and you have the MTHFR genetic mutation that makes methylation hard, this is especially important that you have the right version of folate, ultimately to get that from what you take to what baby actually needs and can use. So I like Needed because they have the methylfolate version paired with glucosamine salt to make sure that my body can absorb it. I've had no nausea issues whatsoever with this. It's 3 capsules a day. I take 2 in the morning and 1 at night. I really liked this. I feel like it's also worth pointing out beef liver, which is often talked about, especially in the pro-metabolic community, as an alternative to prenatals during your pregnancy from a whole food form. I am a huge fan of beef liver. I specifically love this desiccated one from Perfect Supplements. And honestly, going into my pregnancy, before I ever got pregnant, I thought that I would do that as my prenatal, but as I did more research and looked at things and looked at my specific nutrient needs, I didn't feel confident that this alone would give me everything that I needed. I think a blend can work really well. I think it's totally bio-individual and it depends on the person. I am a huge fan of beef liver as just a bioavailable version of a ton of important nutrients that are needed in pregnancy. But I do think that you need to do your due diligence to check your specific nutrient needs and make sure that that is supplying everything that you think it is. I just don't think it's wise to be like, oh, it's nature's multivitamin, it's fine. You gotta make sure you have what you need. That's where I landed, my honest thoughts on prenatals, and one that I can confidently recommend as I have really enjoyed taking it this pregnancy. I will say there are a couple of additional things that I am still taking specifically for thyroid support that I've been taking long before my pregnancy, but I didn't feel like those were important to share here because they are so specific to me and they're not necessarily gonna be true for every pregnant woman. Not that every pregnant woman needs these things. I really hope that you found that helpful, and I do just wanna say, remember, I obviously love all of these supplements. I stand behind them. They have helped me thrive in my pregnancy, but I don't want you to watch this video and feel like this means that all of these are necessary to have a healthy pregnancy. Like I said in the beginning, the foundations of a healthy diet, eating real whole foods, getting sleep, moving your body, staying hydrated, and most importantly, having a healthy mindset, filling your heart and your soul with gratitude and joy, and focusing on a healthy, strong mindset, mind, body, soul connection, believing the best about you and your baby as you grow this baby, having a healthy body image as you grow this baby. I really believe those are so critical to a healthy pregnancy. Those things are foundational. This is just the icing on the cake. So do the best you can. You are doing amazing. You are the mama that this baby needs, and I hope you find that encouraging. Now, reminder, I have put all this together in that post for you, which I will link for you below as an easy place for you to access everything, including discount codes, some of my hacks to bundle some of these so you can get an extra discount. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe for more pregnancy content. I have so much more for you to watch. I want to be here to support you in your pregnancy, so you can watch this vlog for more nutrition tips and a whole conversation about appetite changes and cravings and everything through pregnancy. Or you can dive into all my pregnancy videos in this playlist here. I'll see you there.